we have another week of hacker replay. I looked through all the submissions and I tried to pull up the most interesting ones. And before I forget, I'm going to check how many submissions I had in the last week. We only had 340 submissions. Less submissions per week. Or people are playing Siege less. That is probably the more likely answer. For the first match, we have what I hope will be at least a somewhat interesting cheat. I think it's just going to be an exploit, because I think it might be the one we saw last week. But in this match, we have Kepit, who's accusing Summerful2, and then Megan Fox as well. They accuse them of going through walls, like no clipping through walls. Based on them doing normal setup, though, it doesn't look like they are doing any specific exploit. So we saw the one exploit last week where, with Scopeless, they were able to look through walls. But they didn't do the same one this week. I'm not entirely sure how they end up doing this. I'm just waiting for it to be like he just made a hole in a wall and ran through. Does look like he just did try to shoot the 0 through the wall and didn't realize that he's outside, but could have just been timing. What wall could he have gone through? There's not even like an outside facing wall up here. It specifically said in the text document that he went through a wall. Luckily for the next match, we also have something interesting, just in case this turns out to be nothing. So far it feels like as Cross would say, a nothing burger. What? He literally told me in round 2 that he went through a wall. As Buck, he went through the wall. But it says on round 2, he did it. I don't know if he means round 2 of attack or round 2... or like when they swap, but I'll check. Unless he means he gets to say on 2 different rounds through wall. Or through walls. Okay, let's see. He's doing the lag exploit or repel exploit. I'm not familiar with this one, but I've seen the exploit where you can get into the fireplace, but I've never seen this one where you can just get through the wall. I've seen people who can get into the roof, drop into the fireplace, and plant here. Okay, so he does a repel exploit, which we've seen before. That was on Outback. It's on Oregon as well. There's so many of them. I don't think he does anything on this attack, but I'll check just in case. But then also apparently Megan Fox 02 on this round has 0 recoil and starts cheating. So I'll look at that after. But so far it looks like people who just go on TikTok or YouTube, look up exploits, and then just do them. I don't think they're cheating in the traditional sense. I don't think he does anything on this attack. He does have like 0 recoil though. I wouldn't expect someone who uses these type of cheap exploits to have like 0 recoil. I noticed at the beginning here, but I thought it was just seeing things. Like when you shoot through here, I swear the gun barely moves. It moves at least a little bit, so I guess he either has really good control or he has some type of recoil script. I don't know. Apparently this guy also has like 0 recoil in this round. Megan Fox 02. So far I'm not seeing this no recoil that he claims of, but he's also just only shot barricades so far. There's recoil there. He's just controlling it well. Normal droning. That looked fine. He just had good recoil control. But obviously the buck guy is exploiting. He was going through or rappelling through walls and stuff. I'm surprised that he said that that looked like no recoil though, because he's in platinum, so he should know what good recoil control looks like. The people he played against were Summerful and... Oh, is this a console player? It is a console player. What is that profile photo, bro? Oh, that's weird. Maybe just came back to the game, took like a 10-season break. But on PC, I've been playing like the last 2 seasons on PC. So either a mouse-trapped console player or just chose to come over to PC. Probably mouse-trapped. That would be my guess. Because if they were like Champ and Diamond on console with like hundreds of matches, they were probably using Zim. Okay, and then Summerful is actually known as Tito Macani, who is a champ with a 2.11 KD. Let me guess, also a Zimmer. I actually didn't play console like much at all. This is a weird account then. Only 312, but just champ with a 2.11 KD. Doesn't play with cheaters a crazy amount at least. Just one. Is he cheating? Didn't look like it. It looked like he was just exploiting. I don't know how he has a 2.11 KD. That is like, I'd say pretty obvious cheater numbers. He has an 84% headshot rating across 26 kills. A 95% headshot rating across 41 kills. That's kind of crazy. A lot of 100% headshot rating matches. 18 kills with a 100% headshot rating? No, this guy's cheating. He went 18-1 in this champ lobby on bank. No, he's cheating. He's definitely cheating. Didn't look like he was in this game, but maybe he just was fucking around with exploits. I don't know. 100% a cheater, though. In the next match, we're going to look at on Canal. Allegedly, based off the submitter. So we have Milk Chocolate, who's also known as Daka on Fent, is accusing the barcode.skk guy. He claims that this guy's apparently on a 53 match win streak. And I don't know about you guys, but unless you're part of like the Spoit Bolo champ stack, you're probably not winning that many matches in a row. But let's find out. You just kind of walk around bot-like, but doesn't mean a whole lot. And this is a ranked match as well. Like, with a Diamond Charm, you would expect them to be taking this somewhat seriously, but we've also had a lot of lobbies recently that when we've been playing ranked where the people don't take the game seriously at all, so I don't know. I don't know. It's like half feels like he's walling because he is reacting based off of them doing stuff, but you'd probably be able to hear them. That was a pretty good reaction, but Nomad did just shoot at... Who was that? Frost in the hallway? Bad aim, but he went off of the shots, I'm assuming. Because Thermite just killed Tubero. He's very patient. Very locked in on holding that door. What to watch more, but the way he played, it did feel like he was just kind of aware. Oh, he gets a triple C4 kill here. If you get a triple C4 kill, I feel like either the enemy team's got to be real fucking stupid, or you got to just know exactly where 3 of them are standing together. He does love to just, like, go to a spot and then just sit there staring. Because, like, normally, if I get this level, you turn around, you look around, you do different things. Part of me wants to say you're not staring at them because you hear the sound. Because, like, they stop moving and then he throws it perfectly between them. I feel like if you hear if they stop moving, you'd probably be like, maybe they got out of the room. I don't know. I think his reaction time is too quick, and also, like, again, it almost feels like he's just sitting there like a bot. Like, he's not actually paying attention. And yet he is popping off against what I assume is other Diamond/champs. I know, like, I should not put much weight into it, but again, I just... When I see people in Diamond and Champ just, like, not really caring at all, or, like, barely doing any setup, and just kind of, like, wandering around, it makes me feel like they're not real champs. But then, I mean, when I play ranked, I complain about my teammates not doing anything, so... Maybe sometimes people just don't care. Aim's pretty bad. I would, I guess, just assume that if someone is playing Warden, Diamond, and Champ, that they should be good at controlling the SMG-12. I feel like he just knew that he was sitting there on the stairs with no intel. Like, he's already aiming down sight at him. Like, what if Jackal is here? What if he's on the stairs looking at Warden, since Warden's in the hallway? But instead he just aims instinctively at the corner and, like, half pre-fires? I don't know about that. Also, as a reminder, this is the same guy that allegedly, according to the submitter file, was on a 53 or 54 game win streak. I think he might be cheating. No droning whatsoever. Gets on his drone in the last 5 seconds. Wastes it. Oh, he's actually gonna drone. So he did a quick drive-by of the site. You shouldn't really know exactly where everyone is or what everyone's doing based off that quick drone. But it already feels like he knows or is ready. He just sits here and waits forever. Just kidding. He immediately rotates as soon as I say that. That is the thing to do with AFK because he did not care why drone. I mean, He's not AFK, he's just like probably on his phone or something. I get that Azami literally just shot through that wall. But that seemed a little too accurate based off of how little they shot. Instead of being worried about the head thing or even being shot through the wall again, he just holds 90. It feels like he knows that Azami is pushing there. I don't know about that. Wait, did they just get into a fight? So they probably would have made the call like, oh, he's on the bomb. So he does a quick peek here to just see where he is. Looks almost right at him. But then on the re-peek, aims more to the right, which is where Bandit had already moved to. So to me, that reads almost like he's just quick peeking to pretend like he has info, but then he re-peeks based off of walls. And then he does it again here, but in his defense, Bandit did start moving over to the right. It feels like he has walls. We'll keep watching to see if he slips up ever, but I'm pretty confident, especially if it is true that he was on a 54 or 53 game win streak, that he is cheating. No droning again. Okay, so he just walked right into trench, which normally when you push this way, you immediately try to rush through because you're breaking in so far across the map, no one's going to hear you. But then after he walked into trench, he just like, for some reason, stood completely still while looking at the Goyo through the wall and then chose to go somewhere else. And now he's going to go in through this window with no drones or intel, even though it'd be even riskier because he's actually closer to the enemies. But he doesn't do anything with the Goyo. He just walks away. I don't know. If you're going to commit to breaking down that trench door and then walk right in, why would you just stop and turn around? Why would you not just commit and run through? Because, like, again, you've already put so much effort into doing that. Seems weird to just leave and go somewhere else. Especially when there's, like, no information on that Goyo. No one knows he's down there. This would be normal, but even then, he still pre-fires. I think he's walling. I'm sure if we pull up his account, he probably has already been banned, or maybe his stats will just be so obvious that he has to be cheating. I don't know. I don't think there's any way this guy's legit. Zero intel, zero information, but just always goes the right way. The way he peeks, it's like he knows where people are all the time. And again, 54 game win streak. I don't think anyone but the top creator stacks with champs and pros get those types of win streaks. And even then, they usually still, I think max is like 20 or 30 games before you lose one. 50 something is, I feel like, borderline impossible. So here, Warden starts getting tracked. But before Warden even is fully tracked and moving, so Deimos can't give any callouts. He immediately sprints down the stairs after the Warden and takes control of this room, even though he droned Warden in this room, and there's no possible way Deimos could give the information that Warden has moved. So he's already taking ground off of knowledge that it's impossible for him to have. And then he pre-aims and pre-fires the Warden. He's definitely cheating. He is definitely walling. I feel like that kill on Warden is more than enough proof when he has zero reason to know exactly where he is. You could, I mean, I guess people could make the argument that he would hear him. But also, like, the entire game has been like this. His reaction time is insane. As soon as someone peeks, they're just immediately dead. And then he does that every time. Again, this, you could argue sound there, but like he'll always look where someone's about to push, aim, and then pre-fire. And like you could argue that you can do that a lot off of sound, but I don't think there's any way you're consistently getting it like that perfect. Okay, I gotta lock in to find out what his name is. Okay, I got his name. He is in champ. He was previously a platinum, now champ with almost a 2 KD. Encounters no cheaters, but let's look at his win-loss and stuff. His win percentage is only 75, but apparently he was on a 54 streak. He won 9 in a row on August 6th. 10 in a row on August 5th, so 19. Oh, and then he lost 3 here. 24. Or, no, 19, 26. Did I read the file wrong, or was his win streak before that? Yeah, 53 game win streak. But he did lose a few matches a few days ago, so I think that's just incorrect. 16. Yeah, he never went on a 50-something win streak. He did go on a long win streak, like 20-something. 26 was what we said, but... You can see those 3 losses. Okay. Well, yeah, so 26 win streak is still very high. Obviously going from a hard stuck or like fairly hard stuck plat player to champion with a 0.7 higher KD. I think that's proof enough that he's cheating. He also was constantly like just ready for everyone, never droning anything. I think he's got to be a cheater. But yeah, overall, I would say obviously cheating. Should be banned, but isn't. I feel like the stats should speak for themselves there, and I feel like they need to be more strict with their stat banning, but... Alright. Next match is on the 5th at 2 a.m., which is the border match. They did not tell me what their name was, so I'm going to have to figure it out. But they're accusing Plup of cheating, and he's queued with Recruit and Log Bait. Oh, that guy's name is literally just Recruit. No Sturm mode, his name is just Recruit. But that means that the person who submitted it is Rayan C, because he's on the enemy team, and he said he is queued with his friend Huge Bert. So the cheater is Plup, apparently, who dies in the first round. This is an 8-round match. Why is he just sitting in spawn proning over and over again? Makes me... I know this is just the paranoia of dealing with so many cheaters, but it makes me feel like he probably is just toggling stuff. And then whatever his prone key is also his, like, toggle button, which is why he's constantly toggling in and out. Or proning up and down, rather. Okay, he doesn't do anything there, obviously. Surprised he's queued with someone with such a simple name. Because normally if you have a simple name like that, you don't want to be associated with cheaters, since you don't want to lose that valuable name. Okay, now he's got his champ charm on IQ. Oh, he's definitely cheating. That much is obvious to us now. He tried to shoot him through the wall, but couldn't. He tried to pre-fire him, but couldn't. Bro, he missed a nade. You don't even need cheats to know how to line up that nade. You could have just aimed higher. I will pull up the accounts though and see if they're actually queued together. What I want to know is how did this make it to round 8? If he's like blatantly tracking people like this should be, you know, cut and dry. Oh. Plup was a common name for cheaters. I don't remember hearing that or seeing that. But I would assume this is probably a champ lobby since he has the champ charm. Actually, I kind of want to see first how do they go to overtime, because I think this was the match that was submitted to me where they said they're like, we called him out and he stopped being as obvious. Another diamond charm. Or, sorry, champ charm. That's from... I cannot remember. Bird. I don't remember. I think he was trying to C4 the guy through the floor, but didn't throw it high enough. Damn. So he wasn't even trying to hide it, he just whiffed. Oh no, the colors are reversed, sorry. I was like, how they're up 4-3, how do they lose? Makes sense. Want to be getting on Battlefield 6 later? I don't know. I thought about it, but I don't really want to ruin the game for me by just playing so much of the beta. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's so much fun though. I'm like, yeah, but you're gonna just get your fill of the game before it even releases. So I feel like I'd rather just... I'd rather just wait for the actual game release in October. I'll probably play next weekend when they introduce Rush, but I really don't want to ruin the game for myself. Games are always ruined nowadays with betas. Like, everyone gets bored of a game before the game even actually releases. So why do that to myself? Wait, hold on. Oh my god, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fuck, I lost count. I don't know which one am I at? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Deep freeze. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 seasons played. 11 seasons champ. And he's cheating. Now, do we think that he... There's a few possibilities. There's either 1, he bought the account and is cheating on it. 2, he's been cheating this whole time. Or 3, he's been playing so long that he's just like, fuck it, I don't care anymore, I'm going to start cheating. I think it's more likely to be that he bought it because his movement and aim and map knowledge doesn't make sense. Like, it's not champ level. And I mean, okay. Everyone will agree Siege has been really bad with anti-cheat. But I don't think there's any way that he could have played this long cheating like that. Like, he would have had to have been banned. So I want to say it's more likely that he bought the account. He also played with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cheaters. And he was playing with the recruit guy, who I remember now because of the name of the Zofia account. Oh, he just got this name. Okay. What I want to know, and maybe I'll have to talk to Ubisoft about this, because I don't think Ubisoft would be this dumb. I'm afraid that if people get banned and they have a name, they can change the name on their banned account and then sell the name. Because there's a lot of very basic ass names like Recruit, and I remember the Zofia person as well. I think they cheat, or like the Zofia name cheats. So I remember this from a previous submission. I'm like, I think they just sell the name after their cheating account gets banned, but I could be wrong. I would really hope that Ubisoft would put in some type of measure where, like, if an account is banned, you can't just change the name on it. The account is, like, locked. You can't do anything. Because, like, if you could just buy a name, cheat, get the account banned, sell the name, or trade the name to another account, that's just terrible. Ubisoft should not allow that. I'll have to ask my reps about that, because that is pretty bad. I think next match is Skyscraper. In this match, we have Fog Rex, who's accusing Dizad U, who droned at least in the prep phase, but doesn't really do anything in the first round. Which this is starting to look already immediately like the last round or last match with the cheater, where they like take a few steps, stop, take a few steps, stop, take a few steps, stop, and then start going again. What is that mirror setup? Hold on. I mean, it's not a bad idea, I guess. That's not a diamond charm, right? I always think that it is. It's like a green dragon holding a purple crystal. I don't think it's a seasonal rank charm. I'm pretty sure it's just a generic charm you get from a bundle. I just want to make sure. If this is diamond, it doesn't feel like diamond. Does he expect the cav here? Felt like he was leaving his teammate out to dry. Don't know. Okay, I know this is early. I think he's cheating because he just used a Dokkaebi call. He heard the cav on his left, but instead he went this way. And even though he just used the call, so any phones would be ringing, he checks every corner of this room. Even though, because of his call, it will be impossible for anyone to be in there. So I think he's cheating because he doesn't know how, like, the game mechanics work. And even there, he seemed confused because he wasn't sure where the... or, like, what it meant when the teammate was down, maybe? I don't know. It feels like if he's playing Dokkaebi and has these skins and stuff, he probably should know how it works, but instead he checks every corner after calling. The confusing part, though, is that if he was cheating, and this is where my logic runs out, is that if he was cheating, he wouldn't look like he doesn't know where anyone is. Because there, it looked like he was just completely lost. He has, I think, well, that's the Christmas skin headgear with, I don't know what the body is. So, he might have an unlock all. That is possible. He actually doesn't get a single kill this round either. Okay, this should be a simple, he calls and they kill the person right below the window. But instead he just stares intimately at the mirror window, unsure of what it is, and then gets shot through a wall. Okay. Yeah, there's been a lot of times where it looks like he's just staring at the enemies, but he's not doing anything. He hasn't killed a single person. He hasn't even, like, shot at a person. But now he's on Buck. Default uniform and headgear, but what looks like very good skins? Or, like, more expensive skins, I think. Yeah, those are the paid for skins from the, or like the pack skins from the Christmas event, right? I think. Actually saw him here, right? Oh no, I think he saw his leg. Bought it from the marketplace, probably. I don't think that one's on the marketplace, is it? Actually, they're not technically recolors, so they probably would be. Okay, he did see the Capcan. Don't know what Capcan was trying to do there. He just heard them. But I don't know if he would know for sure whether he would hear them go through drum or down the stairs. So he does check the stairs just in case. This feels like just a low-level lobby, to be honest. Like, the more I watch, this feels like, you know, silvers or golds. But his aim is pretty good for a gold. That would be my guess. I know I say this about both sides, but I feel like we'll be able to tell a lot more about how he plays on defense. Like, if he goes for spawn peaks or roams towards them, then that'd be a bit more suspicious, but... I mean, if he plays similar to how he did on attack, where he just kind of walks around aimlessly and maybe clears areas, then I think he'll be okay. I don't know. This match feels weird, as Evan would always say. It doesn't feel real, but I also think that might be just because it seems like a low-rank lobby. It does not feel like anything above gold. If I look up the stats and this is like a diamond lobby, then he has to be cheating, because there's no way this guy's in diamond. He does get one kill and then dies at the very end, but he is dedicated to just holding this down. No one's coming up black stairs. Okay, what I want to know here. Does Doc heal smoke? No, he does not. So he could have healed, or he could have even picked up smoke instead of swinging, but he chose to just swing instead. And he's letting smoke get healed up by the Thunderbirds. Which, I mean, that way you don't waste your stim, but... It feels like the Dokubi one where he is using the operator and the gadget, but he doesn't understand how it actually works. Because, like, when he used the Dokubi call, but then still cleared every corner, doesn't understand that. When he uses the Dark Stim to pick himself back up, but not his teammate, doesn't seem to understand that either. And then Raura's blocking off this door. I'm curious how he interacts with that. Aim is really bad. It looked like he looked at the Blackbeard, but again, I think he's just lost. Goes on it with 2 seconds left. Dies. I don't think he's cheating. I'm kind of on the not cheating train. I think he's just a newer player. We're not going to count in this cheating argument. If he hasn't unlocked all, we're not going to say he's cheating. He's using a, like, tool, but I don't think he's cheating. He seems fine. He seems bad. Might be, depending on the stats. Reaction time is decently normal. He's shit or new. Let's see this. I didn't pay attention here. Didn't even aim at anyone. He just sprayed through the door. You can see Glaz's shadow there. It doesn't surprise me that he'd be ready for that. And that did look a little bit like him lining up the Blackbeard through the wall, but he did just get downed by Blackbeard in the previous round from the exact same angle. So he could just be learning. Now he's trying to quick peek and stuff, or like quick lean. Which again is not impossible, but... It does feel like as the rounds have gone on that he has gone magically better. Not insanely better, but like in the first 2 rounds he looked like a baby deer, freshly born, completely new to the world. And then now he kind of looks like he somewhat knows what he's doing. He's holding an area, he's holding angles. And even there, like, he looked away from him. Deimos peeks, and then he, like, flicks over to him. I think he's fine. We'll still watch the last round, just in case, but... that knifing thing was a common controller thing, but he's not on controller. He's moving too sporadically to be on controller. Get the last kill? He doesn't even get the last one. He just sits and waits. I don't know. I think he might be fine. Okay. We'll see how old the account is. And obviously you could buy a lot of this stuff from Marketplace, but I do think he has, for how new he looks, it feels like he has a few too many skins. You'd be able to hear them put down the claymore there. The door has a hole in the bottom, so you can obviously hear through it. So you might have thought that was someone putting down a breaching charge. He only gets 1 kill this round. I mean, that looks like he was, you know, tracing him, but I think that was just him peeking slowly and happened to be when the Thatcher was swinging. I don't think he's cheating. Again, might have an unlock all. If he's a low level and he has all of this, I'd just assume unlock all, but I don't think he's cheating. He's in gold with a 1.77 KD. A little high. He's level 136. Could have a decent amount of skins at that point. He has a lot of encounters with a silver player who's in this match. So my guess is, since he seems to also play with a bronze player, I think he might just have friends who aren't that good, so they give him really easy lobbies. And I think he has an inflated KD because he's probably going against a lot of silvers and bronzes. If we look at some of his ranked matches, so he is one of 3 golds in the lobby. More golds there. But when they win 4-0, it's all silvers and a bronze. I think he just has friends who might not be that good. They're only like 1 or 2 ranks lower than him, but that's enough for gold to capitalize. Like a gold versus bronzes is not going to be that fair. So I think he has an inflated KD because of his friends. I don't think he's cheating. Let me know if you disagree, chat. I wonder if it's 2 people on 1 account. I always hear people always say that. They're like, oh, if they look like they're changing, like it's probably, you know, 2 brothers sharing 1 account. Like me and my family do that all the time. Like, really, in this day and age, I feel like people aren't playing a multiplayer game like Siege and then it's like, okay, we'll swap the controller every round. Like, maybe it's just because I'm an adult now and everyone I know has their own PCs, their own whatever, and they just play on their own. Or like we all play at our own setups together. Like, I can't imagine ever doing that, but maybe I'm just too grown up for that. Okay, in this match we have Lion, who's accusing LFD Zener. I did see a champ and a diamond background, I think on the attacking team. Buck is just hauling ass through the building, not stopping anywhere. Actually, he's stopping to wait for the Cav, who's about to flank him. How peculiar. A silent stepping Cav on the flank. How peculiar. Looking right at the cap can traps. How peculiar. He's looking right at the cap can there. How peculiar. He got the cap can traps. How peculiar. Putting down the claymore rather than droning. How peculiar. He died to Capcan. Guys, I think he might be cheating. And it was a 6-round match where I assume he ended up losing against LFD Zenner, who is actually known as Shidoki SR, who is a diamond with a 2.06 KD. Wow. He was previously a console champion who is now cheating blatantly on PC. Actually, wait, LFD underscore Zen. He just changed his name 2 days ago. Okay. So he is on PC. That is the important part because I was afraid that this was going to be a console cheater. But he is actually on PC cheating. But he plays on console a lot. On console, he is champ with a 1.2, 1.4, 1.5 KD. I mean, I'm sure he's probably zimming on console as well. I'm just quickly seeing... Oh, I thought it was a champ background. In this match, we have Postman Pat, who's accusing Tamim Mirza. I'm gonna guess this is an obvious one too, because it looks like he has iron sights, K1A. But it is bugging out. Oh. I just assume iron sights K1A has to be cheating, but is there the possibility that it's just tech? Is that what people do? Iron sights K1A? Because I feel like if he was cheating, he would have looked more at the people, but he was looking the wrong way. He's out of impact, so he can't just insta-jump out this window. Does look like he's kind of staring at him through the wall there, though. Obviously, if someone called out on double window, it'd be fine, but it did look like he looked right at him through the double, or like, as he jumped out at the double window, so he probably is cheating. Did he lock onto that guy through the wall? Maybe not lock on, but look right at the guy through the wall. It wasn't right on him, but it was pretty close. I mean, that one looked fine. And there I am liking the irons on the K1A. I mean, it's not as bad as other ones I've seen. What? This is ranked, by the way. You didn't actually kill him or even get close to him, but that is quite a crazy run out to take in a ranked game. Also, to just assume that the entire rest of the spawn is clear and no one else could possibly shoot you is odd. Oh wait, was that an enemy? Oh, the outlines were wrong. I looked away because I thought it was going to be a teammate. That did look like a normal reaction. Ivana ran past his crosshairs and then he flicked like towards her. His aim is bad. Emerald? Does this look like an Emerald player to you guys? I don't know about that. If this were my teammate at Emerald, I'd probably just quit playing ranked. Where's Sight? Oh, kitchen. Unlock tools exist in Siege? Yes, and they are bannable. One of the things I asked, I think it was Alex about, or maybe someone else, I can't remember, was just like, isn't it easy to just look at like their account and what skins they should own versus what skins they run, and then just ban them if they're running skins they don't own? Like, yeah. Well, alright. There's no, like, the benefit of, like, that, or that being a thing, is that there's no, like, way for unlock all people to get around that. Like, if you just run a skin that you don't own, then you're just gonna get found. And what's an unlock tool? It basically just unlocks all the skins for you. What is this? What? Okay, Emerald player. Here's them jump in. Like, there's no way you're sprinting this far out, throwing a smoke in the room, and then running back. Because, like, if anyone is over here, they swing you, you're dead. I think he has to be cheating. I don't know what he has, because, like, he hasn't tracked anyone, he hasn't had aimbot, but, like, what the fuck are these runouts? And he is an Emerald player. This is not normal gameplay. This is just, like, straight up idiotic gameplay. And it doesn't strike me as, like... Because, like, me... I guess you could use, like, me and Evan as an example. We play Siege for fun, obviously. We are focused on, first and foremost, having a good time. It also looks like he locked onto that Valkyrie through the wall. But there's a difference between, like, having a fun time and then just doing stuff that's just dumb and gets you killed for no reason. Especially if this isn't ranked. If he had walls, like, why would he drone that? It's not like he's convincing anyone that he's actually checking it, because no one's going to know that he droned that. Unless he would, you know, do that preemptively, thinking about the match replay. But no way cheaters are that smart. I cannot wait to look at this guy's account, because, like, this does not feel like a real player, let alone an Emerald player. He has a little bit of game sense sometimes, but, like, most of the shit he's doing, I'm just like, there's no way an Emerald would ever do this in ranked. Not even just because it's dumb, but also because, like, you would just straight up die doing it, and, like, anyone who plays against you would just instantly kill you. He's using his friend as cover, or his teammate as cover. Like much there. Anyone does this where you can't see the gun. I don't know. Like, everything is so stupid, and there's no visible signs of, like, walls or cheats really, other than, like, he aimed at the Valkyrie through the wall, but, like, that could have just been a coincidence. That's the first time it's happened this game. But he's not Emerald. I'll look at his stats though. One thing I'm curious about. Seriously doubt this would be the case. What if this is someone who used cheats to get to Emerald, but now his cheats are down, so he just looks like an idiot because he has no idea what he's doing? Also, as an Emerald, he's being pretty dumb, just hacking something and staring at it the entire time. Because normally you hack it, and then you drive your drone away as quick as possible while it's hacking so that you don't get destroyed. friend on an account. People always say that whenever we do hacker replay. They're like, if this guy doesn't match his rank, it's probably a friend playing on his account. But again, like, who the fuck does that in this day and age? Especially if the game's free to play. Like, I don't know why you would ever give your friend your account and be like, hey, just play on it whenever you want. Like, oh, again, maybe it's just my group of friends and everyone has jobs and can pay for their own games and computers and stuff. So, like, why do that? But it doesn't make any sense to me. Our own mates I know do that. But, like, why? What is the purpose? When you can make your own account and play for free, why use a friend's account? Okay, if there were a time for him to be obvious with cheats, it would be now, because they are 3-2, about to lose. Let's see what he does. You have to get your brother into a higher rank? But that's different. You're playing on his account to rank him up. If you're a higher rank, would you let your brother play on your account to rank you down so that you two can play together? No, that doesn't make any sense. It's the first round I would say that it feels like he knows where people are and he's pushing them more aggressively. Somehow they win that round. Oh, he's back on the Vigil Iron sights. I'm just gonna keep pulling the Evan though and say, like, there's no proof that he's cheating, but this match is too fucking weird to say that he's not. I think he is. I just don't know how. In my heart of hearts, I know that something's going on. I just don't know what it is. Wish we could see his gun. I don't know if you would have been able to hear them sprint over, but the door was slightly open, but he was a little far, and his gadget's going off, obscuring some noise. I think he might be able to hear the footsteps, though. It would be really funny if in this round he just blatantly like aimbots and kills everyone. Because a lot of people in chat are pissed about the submission when... I agree with the submitter. There's something going on here. I don't know what it is, but like... Okay. He is an Emerald player. Emerald rank. And he doesn't know that you can't go from this wall to that wall. And he keeps trying over and over again, but he doesn't know that it doesn't work. How would an Emerald player not know that? I know it's a new mechanic with Siege X, but if you're an Emerald player, you should be able to know. Just based off, like, common sense and knowing how the game works. He also just threw one EMP at the bottom, missed the Kaid Call on the top, and the second EMP he threw, I think, hit the clothing somehow? Again, for someone who's apparently Emerald, he seems to know very, very little about the game. He might not be cheating, but I think at the very least he has to be boosted. This is not a real Emerald player. This is not a This is not a real person. Rank 2.0 just sucks though. People say that all the time, but I don't believe we live in a world where even rank 2.0 is putting this guy in Emerald. Just like that, like. Oh. And then he dies. Let's find out. Let's look at their account. Postman.pat. Alright. So his actual username is the same thing, just minus the numbers. He is currently an Emerald right now. Was an Emerald in Deadly Omen. Played a little bit less. Took a season break, essentially. Came back. Emerald again. I do not believe that this guy is Emerald. I don't think there's any way that he is an Emerald player. He was playing with Pariston and possibly some other people in that lobby. Let's see if I can check the names again. Frosty Feed and Infant. So he's playing with two of his friends who are also in like Emerald lobbies. I don't think he's Emerald. I refuse to believe that. It doesn't look like he plays with anyone who's a higher rank. He doesn't play with people who are crazy different rank. Most of his friends are between Plat to Emerald. So it's like, I don't know. I have no proof of him cheating. I have no proof of him doing anything bad, but that is not a real that's not a real person. That is not a real lobby. That is not a real rank. Something's going on. Not to mention his stats on the overall are like decent. A 55% or 56% headshot rating, a 1.1 KD. Meanwhile, he looks like a bot and has no idea. Like when he's running out for 5 seconds and throwing a smoke grenade or smoke canister, like that's not an Emerald player. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what he is, but he's not real. But that is Hacker Replay for today. So less submissions overall. Still decent amount of cheaters. Some people apparently cheating for 13 seasons. And wall exploiters and stuff like that. So not great, but I mean, less submissions means either less people playing or less cheaters. I think we got 2 more Hacker Replays until the end of season, though. And then we'll see how cheating is next season. Ubisoft did say in one of their recent posts that they're aware of the cheating problem and they have fixes planned, but we've heard that before. Can we trust them? Probably not.